welcome to Across Louisiana. My name is Steve Sawyer. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today. We've got a really nice show lined up for you, and we're going to start it off with Miss Lori Arseneaux. Lori is with Volunteers of America, and she works for the adoption arm of the organization. Bishop Joe Daus, he's a playwright, and he's written a play that you can see. It's by the Southern Repertory Theater. A really nice, true story that he wrote and is becoming very successful. David Raymond Jr. is with us. David's been on the show many times. He's with Clean Fleet Auto and Body, and they do a program every year where during the holidays they give away a car to a needy individual or family, and it's about time to give that away, so he's going to be talking more about that. Mark Firmin is the CEO and director of Angel's Place. They do a wonderful job of working with children who are very ill and terminally ill, and just a wonderful organization. Mark is the new CEO. Finally, Mark Davis. Mark is with Restoration America's Estuaries, and they've got a huge program coming to New Orleans in December of 2016, and it's so big they're preparing for that now, and he's going to be talking about that program and why it's so critical and why it's being held here in New Orleans. So stay with us. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Our first guest is Lori Arseneaux. Lori is the program manager for adoption and maternity services with Volunteers of America. Lori, welcome to the show. I can't say enough about Volunteers of America. Such a wonderful organization, and Jim and Al and the team, you guys do such a great job. I don't think a lot of people realize the different and the many facets that Volunteers of America is involved in. So if you will, talk about adoption services and the role that you play in working in that organization.
Sure. Well, Volunteers of America, sometimes people don't realize we've actually had a long-standing presence in New Orleans. We've been a licensed adoption agency for over 70 years. And our primary role is to work with women facing an unplanned pregnancy to help them explore adoption as an option. Facing an unplanned pregnancy is often a very scary and overwhelming time, and we want to offer the support and counseling to her to help her decide what's the best choice for her and her child. Because we have the philosophy that if she knows what her options are, she can make an informed and educated decision for the child. Yeah. And then we also work with couples experiencing infertility who wish to adopt in order to create their families. That
was my next question. Do you go through? So if I'm seeking help and for the organization, I know your website is voagno.org. We'll put that on the screen. I mean, it's a touchy subject. How best to get in contact with you guys? Through the website, or just give you a phone call, or?
Either, whatever is more comfortable. You know, a lot of times for women facing an unplanned pregnancy, fear can really paralyze them.
Exactly.
And so we want them to know that we're not here to advocate for adoption or to shove that on them, but rather we want to educate them about adoption. Adoption is a loving decision. It might not be the decision for everyone, but if they have more information and have a safe place to talk about their options, it will hopefully lead them to the right decision.
And of course, November is National Adoption Month, right?
Correct.
Okay. And real quick before we run out of time, because you guys put on, without a doubt, one of the best golf tournaments in this area, and that's going to be coming up next year, 2016. Correct. And I think you got a date, right?
It is. It's going to be March 15th, 2016 at the Tournament Players Club. And as a part of the tournament, we're selling raffle tickets to raffle off a brand new 2016 Mercedes, and people can purchase those on our website, and it would make a great stocking stuffer or Christmas present.
Absolutely. And again, Lori, thank you so much for the role you guys play. I know a couple of women who have adopted kids from VOA, and it was just such a wonderful experience for them. So congratulations, happy holidays to you. And we've got a few more guests, and we'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. Our second guest, very interesting gentleman, Bishop Joe Daus, is a playwright and has written Song of a Man Coming Through. Joe, this is fascinating. I think this is interesting because a lot of times, you know, we focus on organizations and things like that, and we've never had anybody do anything quite like this. So,
well, good.
Yeah, you're a first. You're a first.
Glad to be
so
a first
talk about Song of a Man Coming Through, because as I read the information here, fascinating. I mean, this is got a movie possibly with it.
Well,
who knows?
I don't know.
And if that happens, let me know, so I want a piece of that.
Yeah. Well, actually, someone's already mentioned that. I'm not worried about that. I'm just trying to do a good play right now, and I think we have a very fine
It's a
play.
true story.
It's a true story about a man who was on death row, and I was one of his attorneys, and ended up, of course, being one of his counselors and pastors as well as attorneys. And it's a story about him coming to grips with his life and saying, I need to be different, and going about it by asking us to help him become who he wants to be. And the amazing thing is, part of what's so inspiring about it, in a society that doesn't believe very strongly in the ability of people to change and to become who they want to be, he does it. By the time the play is over, you will discover a man who has achieved more than a lot of people do in their lifetime.
Wow, that's interesting.
Under the most difficult of circumstances, in a relatively short period of time, but with a community of support that he just gathered around him, including the legal team, and used us, and in the process transformed us too, quite frankly.
And Joe, let's talk about the play runs through November 21st, and it can be seen where?
At First Grace Methodist Church,
Okay.
which is on Canal Street and Jefferson Davis, right in the corner.
Starting times are?
8 o'clock in the evening on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 6 o'clock on Sunday.
Okay, and there is, I mean, this is a professional group doing this, so there is, it's not, I'm not going to say not that it's free, there is a cost, but all the money raised is going to community groups. But I do want to point out, I mean, this is a professional group that's doing this play.
Yes, the actors are all equity. We brought in major scenic designers from Chicago. Our composer is better known in New York City than here. And there was original music composed. The Southern Repertory Theater is the best theater in the South.
Absolutely.
So this is a serious production. All the actors are equity actors.
Joe, they're giving me the signal to wrap it up. I could talk about this all day, but best of luck with the play. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On writing this. We've got a few more guests, so please stay with us. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. It's always a pleasure for us to have David Raymond Jr. on the show. David is the operations manager for Clean Fleet Auto Body. David, what you guys do with this car donation thing is absolutely incredible. I know the donation, if I'm not mistaken, is December the 18th.
That's correct.
But you're getting ready now to have a fundraiser. Because one thing I want to point out is you do give away more than the car. You give away so much more. So if you will, talk about the fundraiser, and then real quick we'll talk about the giveaway.
Fundraiser is going to be Sunday, November 29th. It's actually the Sunday after Thanksgiving. So if you have people in town, they're gone by then. If you're out of town, you're usually back by then. So it's a perfect day. It's a Saints away game. So at Southport Hall, November 29th, doors are open at 11. Game starts at noon. And from 11 to 4, all the food and all the drink you can have, and we'll have music in between and auctions, and it'll be a fun time. So for $50 covers all your food, all your drinks, including alcohol, plus just a really good time, and you're putting towards an amazing event with the giveaway of this vehicle.
So, and so the event now, the giveaway is December 18th,
which is the Friday before Christmas. Yes.
And talk about what you do and how you can register to win this car, probably.
Okay. December 18th, we're going to give it away. We're giving it away to the deserving family. What we're looking for is someone who is out there trying their hardest. Last time was a girl who domestic abused her and her children, was in hiding from her husband, going to school at Southeastern, working at the daycare for the kids, and working 2 other jobs and catching rides everywhere. So a car to her made the world.
Absolutely perfect.
It made the world. So that's what we're looking for, is that type of person. We are still accepting applications for families. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty now, so we need it over the next couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks left.
And how can you put in an application?
You can go online to our website. You can come into the
CleanFleetAutobody.com.
www.cleanfleetautobody.com. You can come into to the location at 4432 Hurst in Metairie, Louisiana, or after Clearview and I-10. Either one of those things can come in, fill out the application, you write a narrative, and my guys who actually fix the car are the ones who are going to sit in a room, read those applications, and pick.
And Dave, I want to point out, when you donate the car, you donate car, insurance,
it's
a lot of stuff
insurance,
comes with
hopefully, a year, but if we can only afford 6 months, that's what we're going to figure out with this fundraiser. We're going to get as much money as we can and put it back to this family to
is
give them the best
fantastic.
things possible. I mean, it's going to be really incredible.
And listen, it's just such a great event, and to know who you donated to last time, that's somebody that's a car sometimes can mean everything.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations to you guys for doing this. Again, the fundraiser is on November 29th. We've got a couple more guests. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. Mark Firmin is our next guest, and Mark is the new CEO and director for Angel's Place. Mark, welcome.
Thank you.
You said you joined, you became CEO in July of this year, right?
Right. In July, the previous CEO retired, and I took over.
Okay. Talk a little bit about Angel's Place and who you reach out to and who you support.
Angel's Place is a nonprofit 501c3 that reaches out to any child that gets a life-threatening disease diagnosis. And we kind of step in and we work with the child, the family, the siblings, the parents. We're that first volunteer that'll walk into that hospital room, not giving them a shot, not giving them taking a temperature, not giving them meds, not looking at a chart. We walk in with a toy and try to comfort the child and work with the parents. So when the parents get that diagnosis of cancer, most of our kids are cancer, you don't hear anything past that word. All you hear is just a lot of I mean, and you just wondering, is my child going to live?
Right.
Is his treatment going to, financial? There's just a lot of stress there. So we try to step in to relieve that and try to bring some normalcy to the situation.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Thank
and let's talk about, you've got an event coming up on December 13th. I'm sure it's a fundraiser, right,
Yes.
for the organization. Talk about that real quick.
We have our Christmas event. Where one of the services we extend to our families is we try to provide Christmas presents, and we're gathering their wish list right now. We have about 75 children on our census right now, coming from Children's and Hospital and Arsenault Hospital. And, they still want things just like every other kid.
Absolutely.
So the ones that are in treatment, we're trying to get them what they want. And we have an event through Magnolia Community Services. Their special needs adults are actually helping us with our sick children, and a great partnership coming together. We're going to have Santa, and we're going to have a little bit of food and elves, and they'll get their gifts at that time. Kind of do like an open house format. They can come in
that's
and
great.
yeah, it's a good. We have a lot of volunteers that come and help.
And your website is angelsplacenola.org.
Right.
I would think an organization like this, volunteers, what a great way to volunteer for an
Yes.
organization. If you go to the website,
Yes.
all information about the organization and volunteerism and the fundraiser can be found on the website.
Yes.
That's incredible. Do people, do families reach out to you first, or do you kind of know where to go, or
Right
a little
now,
bit of both?
a family can contact us. They can contact us at our office at 504-455-2620. Or most of our children right now are coming from referrals from the social workers in the hospitals.
Okay. Mark, congratulations. Best of luck on the
Thank you.
fundraiser. We have
Thank you
one
for
more
having me.
guest. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. Our final guest is Mr. Mark Davis. Mark is the Senior Research Fellow and Director of the Institute on Water Resource Law and Policy at Tulane University, and board member of Restore America's Estuaries.
That's right.
And boy, we were talking before you came on about the organization. Wow, what an incredible, just talk real quick about the mission of the organization, because I want to get in. You've got a huge event coming up next year that you're preparing for, and I do want to get into that.
That's exactly right. Restore America's Estuaries was put together, by 11, groups, sort of like you have with the Lake Pontchartrain Basin Foundation, the Coalition to Restore Coastal Louisiana, who realized that, coastal environments, coastal communities were in peril nationally, and that they needed to link arms and learn from each other and teach each other. And one of the things they decided to do was hold a national summit every 2 years. And the summit is coming back to New Orleans next year. And one of the reasons we wanted to come on now is because summits like this, meetings like this, are most successful if you get the business community, the civic community, the the schools, the scientists, because this is one of those few meetings that draws from all of those. Yeah. And it makes it a very different kind of thing, and it really, people come away from them knowing people they didn't know before, knowing things they didn't know before.
Yeah, and Mark, this is big. I mean, this I'm looking here at well over 1,000 people attend this. So, I mean, this is not just some organization. It's 6 days, so it's not just an overnight.
That's right. It's going to be December 10 through 15 of 2016. But the idea really is to teach people, not just to come to a convention. That if you want to know what's going on with coastal engineering from a restoration standpoint, this is a place to come. If you want to know about coastal science, this is a place to come. If you want to know about how to organize volunteers and develop curriculum, this is the place to come.
And you'll have people from all over the country, right?
Oh, and beyond.
And beyond. Mark, the website is, and we'll put this on the screen, is estuaries.org. All the information on the conference and the organization itself can be found on the website?
Absolutely, www.estuaries.org.
Okay. All right. It's incredible to be planning for an event so far ahead like we are here, but it's such a big event. I guess you have to start doing that. I mean, just.
Well, that's exactly right.
Thank God somebody's looking at this too.
Well, if you'll have us back, we'll be back this time next year to try to remind people to come.
Yeah.
But this is when you really get the value added. You get, again, businesses, if you're an engineering firm, if you're a program at a local university and you really want to know how to make the most of this, this is the time for you to get involved.
And Mark, they're wrapping me up, but I'll leave it with, we definitely will have you back. I promise you of that. You've been watching Across Louisiana. My name is Steve Sawyer. Thank you so much for spending time with us today, and we'll see you next time.